Well, hey everybody, and welcome to The Wrap. I am David Gillette, and it has been a big week for Canada and Minnesota. Consul General Jamshed Merchant, remind us, why has it been such a big deal for Canada and Minnesota?
Canada's head of state, the Governor General of Canada, His Excellency David Johnston, was in town earlier this week.
Very exciting. Thank you for arranging it. I know your office did a lot of the legwork, so thanks.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun and we accomplished a lot.
I want to share a concern.
What's that?
I'm concerned that the stereotype might be true, and those of us in America don't know as much about Canada as we maybe should. I'm actually going to conduct it. Hey, Eric Escala, how many hours a week do you spend thinking about Canada?
3 to 5.
Well, that's pretty good. I like that, yeah. You got to up it now, right? To,
I'm guessing
7 to 10.
That's
my goal for this year, right?
I'm guessing that's more than average, actually. I shouldn't have asked Eric. He's not the normal representative of most people. But what we're going to do tonight, with the Consul General's help, is enlighten Americans on things they didn't know about Canada. We prepared 10 facts, right?
Fantastic.
Which you want to read, I'll just hand them off to you here, and you can, let's learn about Canada.
Okay, so number one, okay. So 20% of the world's fresh water supply is found in Canada. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh,
do you have any concerns California's going to invade?
Oh, I don't think it's not for a while yet.
I want to prepare for that. Here's another one.
Okay, and this one. So this is about where Canadians live in Canada. So about 80 to 90% of Canadians live within 100 miles of the U.S. border. So if you think of Minnesota and you think of Winnipeg, it's like less than 100 miles, right? So most of Manitoba lives pretty close to the Minnesota border.
Within 100 miles?
That's right.
Are you stealing our Wi-Fi?
No, you steal ours, I think.
Oh, is that how it goes? You can flick the cards, too. You asked about the Letterman thing. If you want to flick the cards, go for it. You can practice that. Get the full TV treatment.
Okay. So this is about Switzerland and Canada. So did you know that Canada has a park larger than Switzerland? And it's called the Wood Buffalo National Park. And it's right on the border of Alberta, right up north, on the northeast corner of Alberta and the Northwest Territories. And it was created in 1922 to protect the world's largest herd of roaming bison.
Are the bison still there?
And they're still there, and they're doing really well.
Flick that card. Get rid of that thing. Well done.
Okay, so in Canada, we no longer have a dollar bill, right? We could phase that out, and now we just have a $1 coin, and that has a loon on it. The loon is Canada's bird, just like it is in Minnesota. And so we in Canada call it the loonie. And we used to have a $2 bill years ago. We don't have that anymore. So we have a $2 coin. And because the dollar coin is called a loonie, we decided to call the $2 coin a toonie.
Very
so
clever.
when you go to Canada, you ask for a toonie, and you can get a cup of coffee with that.
Very clever, Canada. This one's kind of related.
So America, so you know, you call it the Greenbacks, right? Do you know why it's green? Well, back in 1857, so 150 years ago almost, the green ink that's now used in American money was invented by a professor at McGill University. His name was Thomas Sterry Hunt. So now you can thank, every time you use your greenbacks here, you can thank Canada and McGill University for coming up with the color green.
So just to point out the contradiction here, you invented the ink that's on our money and then promptly went to coins.
Well, it took a while for us to go to coins, and we decided not to use the same greens. We used sort of all sorts of different colors as well. You kind of call them monopoly colors.
Monopoly colors, that's true. Did you tell me that your wife helped you with some of these?
Yeah, she did.
Should we put her on the
really
spot?
smart.
You want to call her down just because we can anyway? You want to come down and appear on camera? You're not Mike, so you can't say anything, but you might as well get the whole family together here. We have a few more, and I got to push it because we're running out of time, so we're going to read a little bit faster.
Okay. And then this one's about canola, which is the world's only crop that was made in Canada. It was developed by researchers from Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada and the University of Manitoba in the 1970s. And canola is an oil you now buy everywhere, and to cook with. It's a great oil, so I go and buy it.
We are unfortunately running out of time, but I have to get to my favorite two. So we're going to do number 8 and number 9.
Okay, this one. So
I love this one.
So mac and cheese. Well, in Canada, we don't call it mac and cheese. It's called Kraft Dinner. And Canadians purchase 1.7 million of the 7 million boxes of macaroni and cheese or Kraft Dinner sold globally each week, and eat an average 3.2 boxes of Kraft Dinner each year. That's 55% more than Americans. The meal is the most popular grocery item in the country. And when you're a student, that's all you have to eat. That's because you spend all the money on other liquid refreshments.
But here comes the big one. This is the drum roll.
Really big one
because this one blew my mind.
Okay.
If this is true,
so
right?
So this is when Armageddon comes, and you have no more food, and you're really craving pancakes, but you have no more maple syrup. So Canada has got your back covered, okay? So Canada has a global strategic maple syrup reserve. I mean, it's operated by the Federation of Quebec Maple Syrup Producers. Quebec produces roughly 70% of the world's maple syrup. So Canada, we have the world's reserve of maple syrup. The United States has the world reserves of oil.
Yeah.
So go figure,
Is it just an underground tank, or what is that thing? Is it in the water towers?
Big trees, yeah.
I have a gift for you, my friend. I have a gift for you. In the name of continuing to build international bridges, I went to the grocery store and I bought you special gift, family size.
Family size, craft dinner. Oh, fantastic.
For you to enjoy.
So that's going to be my supper tonight, right?
You can have it whenever you want. You can put syrup on it when you get back to the reserves.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time,
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate it.
David.
And that is all the time we have for the wrap. We will see you, please watch in Canada, next week.
Take care, okay?